Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at noon.
New at noon, the Minnesota Department of Public Safety is reporting the amount of drugs taken off the streets is at an all-time high. Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us. I'm Jordan Schreier. The department seized more than 1,700 pounds of meth in 2019. That's up from 230 pounds confiscated in 2015. The numbers for cocaine and heroin have skyrocketed as well from previous years. Authorities took in 106 pounds of cocaine and 55 pounds of heroin. Police say the majority of heroin taken in is laced with the deadly substance fentanyl. Authorities also are saying that most of the meth and cocaine found in Minnesota is from Mexico and South America. 3 people are sitting in jail after authorities had to use a pit maneuver to stop a high-speed chase on I-94 this morning. Now, these 3 right here are in the Clay County Jail. The Sheriff's Department says it happened just after midnight in Moorhead along 8th Street and I-94. Officials say the driver refused to stop and took off westbound at I-94, going at least 80 miles per hour, eventually heading into Fargo where they were stopped. Now the 3 face a range of charges, including fleeing police and possession of drugs. Taking that live look outside right now, sunny blue skies, the calm before the storm that we have headed our way. So for what we can expect for some nasty weather down the pipe, let's head on over to meteorologist Lisa Green.
It is looking pretty tough as we head into the nighttime hours for tonight. But until then, we are looking pretty good. So enjoy it while you can. We have that winter storm watch that is going to take effect overnight tonight and Wednesday, tomorrow, for much of the Red River Valley, especially the heart of the Red River Valley, where we're likely to see some of our strongest winds with this system. And then out to the west in the darker blue, that's a winter weather advisory. We'll have some impacts there, too, in the James River Valley, but perhaps the wind's not as strong. So I mentioned things have been looking a lot better. You can see that we've got some clouds passing through overhead in the valley, but overall we're looking at some pretty good conditions, some sunshine out there, and temperatures that are mild. We're at 23 degrees in Fargo. It's 22 in Grand Forks and 27 in Jamestown and over in Bemidji as well. So a mild start to our afternoon. The wind is a little brisk. We've been getting gusts into the 20s at times, and so that may lead to maybe some light drifting, pretty minor stuff here in the valley. Overall, we're looking at the stronger winds holding off until the overnight hours tonight and into tomorrow. So here's a look at our hourly planner for the rest of the day. Expect temperatures 20s to near 30 degrees. We'll enjoy that sun, and then heading into the nighttime hours tonight, the clouds move in first, and then comes the snow with that Arctic blast hot on its heels for us overnight tonight and tomorrow, and we'll be talking about the potential for a blizzard coming up here in just a few minutes.
A lot to watch for. Thank you, Lisa. It's a somber day as the community mourns the loss of a young West Fargo boy. Now this is a live look at the outside of the funeral for 7-year-old Grantley Johnson. It's underway right now at Prairie Heights Community Church in West Fargo. Grantley passed away from leukemia late last week. He was a student at Eagles Elementary. It was a somber scene outside of the Fargo Police Department as officers and community members remembered the life of Officer Jason Moszer. On this day 4 years ago, Officer Moszer died after he was shot during a standoff in North Fargo. To honor him, the flag outside of the Fargo Police Department was lowered to half-staff.
It's our responsibility to tell the stories about Jason, and so that those 61 new officers, and that number is only going to get larger, to understand the type of person that he was, that he isn't just a face on the wall, that his sacrifice meant something. We learned from that sacrifice, and I think that's the best way that we can honor Jason going forward.
Officer Moszer served with the Fargo Police Department for 6 years. An area in downtown Fargo was blocked off after a reported gas leak this morning. According to the Fargo Fire Department, the call came in around 9 at a construction site behind 413 Broadway. Authorities say that nobody had to be evacuated from the buildings, but they did advise people to stay away from that area and the nearby sidewalk. The cause of the leak is unknown at this time. The Bemidji Police Department wants your help finding a missing 16-year-old girl. Casey Hughes was last seen in Foston on January 20th. Now she's about 5 feet tall, 100 pounds, brown eyes and brown hair. It's unknown what she could be wearing right now. Anyone with information should call the Bemidji Police 218-333-9111. Mandan Police have released the name of a 36-year-old man who died after fighting with officers following a traffic stop over the weekend. That man is identified as John Prudente Jr. of Mandan. Police say Prudente drove away as two officers were talking to him after that traffic stop. While the man was handcuffed, officers say he became limp and unresponsive. He later died at the hospital. The North Dakota Bureau of Criminal Investigation is now looking into this case. The New Hampshire election officials are confident they'll avoid the kind of chaotic tech meltdown that we saw during last week's Iowa caucuses. Morgan Radford has a look at how the New Hampshire primary will run.
It's a caucus hangover. After waiting nearly a week for the Iowa caucus results to come in, Pete Buttigieg has a narrow lead in delegates. But chaos continues, with calls for recanvassing from the former mayor and Senator Bernie Sanders.
Let's win this thing. Let's transform America.
And with Iowa's first in the nation status now in question, primary voters in New Hampshire say their process will be the calm after the storm.
So you think New Hampshire is ready?
I know New Hampshire's ready.
You're not worried?
I'm not worried at all about it.
New Hampshire kind of has a reputation as doing it right.
It's the nation's first primary, more than 100 years old. All but 3 presidents in the last 70 years have won a primary among these voters.
I have admired how seriously you take the responsibility.
We are going to, as usual, New Hampshire, surprise the country.
And after the caucus confusion in Iowa, election officials here say this is a process that can be trusted.
Everything here is done by hand. You get an official ballot and you mark your vote by hand on paper. When you walk inside the booth, no apps, no electronics. Then you take your ballot to be counted. So every single ballot is then counted in this box.
Correct.
Is it connected to the internet?
No, it's not.
So this isn't connected, nothing in this room?
No, nothing is connected to the internet.
So everything is just by pen, paper, that's it?
That's it.
New Hampshire's Secretary of State, who oversees the election, says simple is safer.
And you can't hack a pencil.
Which is why voters here in the Granite State say they're confident in the process, even if many are unsure about the candidates.
If Iowa had come out with a clear winner, I would feel more compelled to lean that way.
A lot of people are undecided.
So people are kind of everywhere.
They are all over the place.
Morgan Radford, NBC News, Nashua, New Hampshire.
And we'll have more on the results of this primary tonight on Valley News Live.